Good morning, all of you, my class 7 students. Once again, I am here with you all, taking up political science, or as you call it, civics, and in which I am taking third chapter from second unit. And for this third chapter, you have also been provided with a preview of the chapter. The chapter is How the State Government Works. I hope you have gone through the preview because many relevant terms have been discussed in that module. Now, as the chapter suggests, how the state government works. How does the state government works? Yes, it's a good question. And the simplest answer can be the state government works through a chief minister. And the chief minister, in order to manage the functioning of the government, appoints ministers at various levels like cabinet ministers, state ministers, deputy ministers. And finally, these ministers give approval to the work which has been designated for various departments. So, when we talk about this, we simply say there has to be one particular place wherein all these things are happening. So, yes, that is Legislative Assembly. So, Legislative Assembly is a place where all the MLAs from the ruling party as well as the opposition meet to discuss various things. Now, another question which should come to your mind: who is an MLA? So, MLA or members of Legislative Assembly is elected by the people. They then become members of Legislative Assembly and also form the government. In this way, we say that MLAs represent people. Clear? So now moving further, we need to have that how does an MLA become a minister or a chief minister. Now, before proceeding, you must have watched the preview in which federalism has been described. Now, what is the relevance of that? In India, we have democratic form of government which says that powers are vested with the people and people run the government, and that is what we have seen here, that people are choosing their representatives. In India, we have representative democracy, and federalism talks about power sharing. So powers are shared between central government and the state government. So now when we talk about state government, as in central government we have prime minister, similarly in state government we have chief minister. So how does an MLA become a chief minister? After elections, the MLAs belonging to the ruling party will elect their leader, who will become the chief minister. The chief minister then selects other people as ministers. After the elections, it is the governor of the state who appoints the chief minister and other ministers. As on a national front, we have president whose consent and affirmation is very essential. Similarly, on a state level, it is the governor who is the final authority. A legislative assembly is a place where all the MLAs, whether from ruling party or opposition, meet to discuss various things. This is what I said just now. Which means during the session, MLAs can express their opinion and ask questions related to the issue or give suggestions about what should be done by the government. Now, the minister's response to the questions assures the assembly that adequate steps would be taken. Now, as we all know, India is a very large country with huge population, and on the governance front, we have the country divided into various states. And since it could not be possible to look into the affairs of each state, therefore, state governments have been formed, and so as they are an autonomous body and they are completely responsible, totally responsible, as well as accountable for their own state. Now, in common usage, the word government refers to government departments, various ministers who head them. The overall head is the chief minister. More correctly, this is called the executive part of the government. All the MLAs who gather together or assemble together in the legislative assembly are called the legislature. It is from amongst them that the chief minister is formed. So now there is a proper procedure. After undergoing that, a person is chosen as the chief minister, and then he forms the council of ministry. In a democracy, it is the people who elect their representatives as members of the legislative assembly, and thus it is the people who have the main authority. Yes, n number of times we have been talking about that in a democracy or in a democratic form of government or the kind of government we are running in the country, here all the powers are vested with the people. So, it is the people who have the main authority. The ruling party members are appointed ministers, and the ministers are in charge of various departments of the government, such as health and education. Here we also look into that they are also delegating their powers to the municipal corporation. They are also delegating their powers to the local government, as you call it. Then a political party whose MLAs have won more than half the number of constituencies in a state can be said to be in majority. So this is the definition to the term majority, because in a larger perspective, when we talk about it on a national front, we say majority, a particular political party which has won in majority rules the country or forms the government. Now the state government works through various departments like Public Works Department, the Agriculture Department, Health Department, Education Department, and so on. The government can also decide to make new laws for the state regarding sanitation and health facilities. Other than this, any policy matter which is of national concern has to have the consent or assent of the president. As we all know, the division of powers have been done amongst union list, state list, and concurrent list. The state government can only make laws related to the powers which are coming under state list, and concurrent list where the powers are shared between central government and state government. State Legislative Assembly, the act of making laws on certain issues, is done in State Legislative Assembly of each state. The various government departments then implement these laws. In fact, the laws related to agriculture, because whatever the climatic conditions prevail in a particular state, that can be only known to the people out there, and at the same time that can be on, who's going to take the call upon that? One has to take a call, that is the state government, regarding irrigation, regarding crop cultivation, agriculture, or any welfare schemes for the people of the state. Who knows it better? The people of that state. Of course, the ministers, the representatives. It's quite similar a situation as you have in your classes. When you go in for council meetings, school council meetings, I hope you are aware of it. So when in the school council meeting, students are being called the representative from that particular class. So the class representative would be in a better position to put forward the problems if faced by the students, or anything which is required for the particular class. Somehow he would be the spokesperson of the class. So similar is the situation in a state level. State government. In a democracy, it is the people who elect their representatives as members of legislative assembly, and thus it is the people who have the main authority. The ruling party members then form the government, and some members are appointed ministers. And these ministers are, of course, in charge of various departments of the government. So what could be the various departments? All those departments which look into the welfare of the people of that particular state. As PWD we were talking about, Public Works Department, what does it do? It looks after the roads. It looks after the sanitation. It also sanitation, although it is being looked after by the health department, but at certain levels where they have to provide water facility, where they have to look into the convenience of people, those who are you can say pedestrians, or the people who are traveling en route, they have to have a place where they should take rest, have the drinking water. So these things the state government delegates the ministers to look into various departments and the needs and necessities of the people of that particular state. So finally we come to a conclusion that state government is a government of a country, subdivision in a federal form of government, which shares political power with the national government. So with this we come to the end of this chapter, and now it's time for assignment. I've given you a very simple assignment. Answer the given question. Use the terms constituency and represent to explain who an MLA is and how the person is elected. So now here you have to describe how a person is elected to be a member of legislative assembly, and while writing that you would be using the terms constituency and represent. You have already been explained what is constituency. A constituency is a particular area from which all the voters living there choose their representatives. Proceeding further, complete the following. So now here what you have to do, name the department. Name of the department is given here, and examples of their work. So name of the department: school education, public works department, and agriculture. Examples of their work has to be given, has to be written. I know you will be able to do this. I'm not giving you any more question answers which are in the text book, because we've already discussed them, and if required we may do it later on in your notebook. And other than that, there was a storyboard in this chapter which is of Patalpuram. It's very simple. It's simply giving an example of a state level problem or an issue with the people of that particular place, wherein there was water shortage and people were falling sick. So they called for it, and now who's going to look into it? So somehow it was agitation from their end. They also cleared out the MLA's residence and demanded that the authorities take immediate action to bring the public health situation under control. And of course the MLA should take responsibility, as throughout the chapter we have been talking about, the member of legislative assembly is responsible for all this because he has been elected by the people. So now when a person has been elected by the people, he is supposed to be answerable to those people because he is representing the people. I hope I am making myself clear. So this was a situation which had been discussed. It is given in the chapter. And opposition as a term, who's in opposition? The person who does not win the majority, or the political party which does not win the majority comes in opposition. The similar situation is for the central government as well, or a national level. But since we are talking about state level, national level government we would be discussing in the next class, I believe. So with this, I come to an end of this chapter, and the prerequisite is that you have to complete the assignment in due course of time. And what could be the due course of time? That is 1 week, because again in the next week you get another assignment. So it is of course to be submitted within a week. And where you are going to submit? On the Google Classroom. So now you start working on it. You can do in a copy, you can do wherever you have been writing the notes. And of course for the submission, you have to submit with your display names. Mark it. Your display names and folios, if the space permits, are to be given in, because that is how we get to know who are the students who are submitting and who all are the students who have logged in. And that is what I have also asked you to log in your display names, formal names, which have been given in the school records. Am I clear? So now you get on to working with the assignment. Complete it. It's a very short assignment and enjoy doing it. So that's all for now. Thank you. Stay safe. Bye bye.